What's up, y'all? It's the NRW or Nerds Rule the World back for another KayFabeyBaby NRW Ring Generals Podcast. It's the FTR back in the building.
Yeah.
Webster style, your boy Kuya P. We're gonna tackle this episode as a WWE speed style match, y'all, because we got a lot of things going on. My man Sean Mongold is probably gotten too many suplexes from his wife Maki that he can't join us right now. But that's at least what we're saying. But I love to our boy Sean. We'll have the House of NRW back next week. But this time we're getting FTR, and we have a couple things we wanted to talk about real quick. We didn't want to leave you out with no episode this week, so we're throwing one down. WWE speed style. Why am I slowing down? Let me throw it to my man Webster style. It's because we do too much. We do too much, y'all, but we're going to suplex you real quick. Go ahead, Eldon.
Well, we finally got the announcement of the new TV deal for AEW, which is going to keep it at least Collision and Dynamite on TNN or TBS and TNN, well, on Warner. And the biggest thing was one of the things we were talking about was streaming. So with that, both Collision and Dynamite will be simulcast starting in January on Max.
Oh, okay. So that means PLEs
will be available for a reduced cost. So it's not quite like the WWE model. They're still going to sell you a PLE, but you're paying a reduced cost because it's on Max. So that's the plan. But that's supposed to happen later in 2025, no timetable given. And January 25 is when it's supposed to be simulcast on Max, which is when I will switch to that Disney Max bundle.
Interesting. So you pay your regular subscription, but you have to pay an additional.
It's kind of like what
I've ever done that with
WWE. ESPN
WWE.
Plus does the same thing with UFC. You have the subscription for ESPN Plus, but then you pay extra for UFC events.
Okay, I've never done that.
Yeah, me either. It's a weird
Peacock,
concept.
You know, ever since they did the WWE deal with all of that, I've been, it's that one flat fee, which is what I was hoping.
Exactly. Yeah, I was hoping that too, but I was still, what? Switching to Max just for AEW to watch on a regular, that's worth the extra bucks a month. It would cost, in this case, in my case, switching from the current bundle to the next bundle is like, I think it's $3-4 more a month since they just raised the prices again. So yeah, it's worth it for me just to be able to keep up and watch. Like I tell everybody, I cut the cord. So realistically, come January, I will be able to watch Raw live as well as AEW live. And side note, I think one of the things we were talking about last time was we're talking about the NWA deal expiring, and was NXT going to be able to be streamed on the CW app next day? And it is.
Oh, cool.
So
cool.
I'm not sure if it's on CW and Peacock because I haven't checked Peacock yet, but it is available. So a lot more people are going to be able to get their eyes on NXT. And according to the ratings, they didn't quite do 1 million, but they almost did 1 million in that CW debut.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to seeing that, and we'll talk about it in a second. But I have a quick question to keep it on AEW real quick. So the TBS TNT deal is with AEW is remaining on TBS/TNT, right?
Yes.
And will be streaming on Max in February, is what you said.
January.
And those are going to be Dynamite and Collision.
Yes.
And is Rampage on the same deal or no?
No mention of Rampage. So it's probably Rampage is getting canceled, or I don't know if you heard. There's a rumor that they may have another deal with Fox for a show called Shockwave, because that was trademarked about a month or so ago.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
so that could be Rampage. But again, that's a rumor. Nothing's been announced yet. So, but I think this is good. I haven't heard official figures, but I think some people estimate it may be anywhere from $140 to $180 million a year. For the rights, and apparently Warner may have equity stake, but nobody's confirmed that. But some pretty major outlets have reported that as part of their reporting, so it's probably true. So Warner Brothers has a vested interest in AEW. If that's the case, they have a vested interest in them succeeding. And let's be real, that is let's think about how much a high budget TV show costs every single year. $180 million is cheap to fund for even though their attendance is down, their ratings is down, that is cheap for Warner Brothers to kick out, considering what's some of the stuff on HBO Max is probably costing per episode.
Oh yeah, it's
So,
crazy. It's crazy.
I think like the what's the show? House of Dragons on it. I think that's like $10 million an episode. So you're talking about what's 10 episodes, that's $10 million right there. And you're talking about you're paying 180 million and you have 152, so 104 episodes a year of live programming. And we're talking about, 3 hours of TV every single week for a fraction of the cost it costs for you to do one of those high dollar shows. Even if their ratings are down, Warner Brothers is still making money.
Yeah, there's merchandising, there's the live events,
Right.
all of that.
Even the live events, again, Warner Brothers is still making their money.
Yeah.
And there's cross promotion that they have with AEW and eyeballs on products that maybe people wouldn't see otherwise. So yeah, I always found it dubious how there was so much doom and gloom big for like, oh, they haven't announced the deal yet, yada yada yada. But you really gotta look at it. They're trying to get cheaper. Everybody's trying to get cheaper. And especially you being an actor, you know how some of these movie studios do, and whatnot. So they're trying to make cheaper product that also they don't have to pay any residuals on the back end, and they don't pay any residuals for this. This stuff will continue to be on, well, in theory, be on their platform now, the whole library, and they're not paying residuals because it's like reality TV. You get your pay, you do your performance, you're on the show, and that's it. You don't get a cut like an actor does. These cats aren't part of the Screen Actors Guild. So yeah, it's a win-win for Warner and Max, or Warner Discovery, what the hell they call it now. So it makes sense. It really makes sense. And I just didn't understand the doomsayers out there who like, oh, they haven't gotten a deal. It seems like it's not going to happen. I'm like, dude, this is cheap TV.
Yeah. I'm curious if this also helps the international audience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people, just people living overseas, and just all of that, and how that just helps to widen their market base and all of that. I'm sure there's
I'm pretty sure it does.
There.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yes, because everybody, because you can download the app and it just makes it a little, a lot more reachable. So yeah, just curious how that's all going to work. But
even domestically,
yeah,
a lot of people like me have cut the cord.
Exactly, like it's
a live
you
TV service
now.
That would make me pick up the Max subscription. Just look, that's why I keep Peacock. Only thing I used to watch things on Peacock. Now I really watch it for WWE. Like that's it. It's just everything else is extra bonus. Now I will pick up Max just to watch AEW content. I don't know about paying for the pay-per-views, but I will watch Dynamite and Collision on a weekly basis now because I can.
Yeah.
Or also they're available to me. And also going back to watch that library, which is one of the things I think a lot of us wanted to really go back and revisit stuff. Also, no word on Ring of Honor, but apparently there may be a deal for that. Not necessarily with Warner, but just in general. Those rumors are always kind of there.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too.
Yeah. It's interesting, but I'm happy for them. I'm happy. And I don't remember if the deal's like 3 years or 4 years. I don't remember exactly, but for a couple of years. So they get to grow. I just want to see them grow. I want to see them grow and continue to improve the product because I like having a number two. We had Shelton Benjamin debut this week on the fifth year Dynamite, and that was pretty cool the way they did that. They bring in, slowly but surely the Hurt Syndicate is coming, and Bobby Lashley supposedly signed a deal as well.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really cool to see this new iteration at a new, promotion. Yep. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely. You just got me excited. I didn't even think about it. But you had mentioned they're coming to Max, that they're going to be available there. But you said library too. So past
Yep.
AEW content will be provided on there now, because
Yeah.
there isn't a home for that. So
Exactly.
they did say that that library will be in
Yeah.
the app.
Yeah.
Dope. Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that.
That's
Speaking of streaming, a question I have for you. One of the
yes.
things I've been catching up on that's wrestling related, because this is KayFabeyBaby.
Let me guess. Vince.
Have you been checking out Mr. McMahon on Netflix, bro?
I've seen some of the first episode. That's about it. I want to get to it. I've had some conversations about it, and just some friends have talked about non-wrestling friends who've watched it,
Yeah.
and they gave their opinions, and I just said, yeah, we all knew he was a creep. I guess to some degree, we didn't know how much he was a creep, so to speak. So,
Got you. Well, we've been fans for a while, bro. I think personally, I feel it wasn't anything new
right.
in a lot of ways, because we've already known this. It just it just refreshes us that yes, this motherfucker is a creep.
Yeah.
But what it did for me was that, unfortunately, because we were fans of these wrestlers, but also over time, Hulk Hogan let me down. There's so many wrestlers I'm sure we could name off that we were fans in our youth, but now fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Middle finger in the air, fuck you. And it showed to me that how even people that I still like right now, though, their silence through all of these situations with McMahon, to me, showed complicitness.
I don't disagree, but and I had a conversation very similar to a friend of mine, and I was just saying, it is very hard when that one man literally controls your destiny to really speak up. And that is how much power Vince had for a large portion of time. Let's be real, WCW in the territories was not a viable option really until Ted Turner bought him. There was nowhere else really people to go. I mean, if you wanted to work, you wanted to be a wrestler, you wanted to be a star, you went to WWE, which means in the count WWF, which means you had to be complicit with Vince's will. And I've never been in a situation like that, but I cannot imagine how difficult it would be to stay silent or to not really do anything for fear of reprisal of your own job. And again, it's not an excuse, but in that aspect, I do understand why so many at the time turned a blind eye or just shut up, because they had families to feed. And if they spoke out, they did something, they would have been gone, because there wasn't a viable number two option for a very long time. And just think, after WCW went out of business, there was no viable option. And well, TNA came up, and they were viable number two for a while, and then they faltered, and then there was no viable number two. And then we got AEW. And I'm talking about viable number two as far as reach, television, money. Ring of Honor was never a viable number two. But anybody was thinking, oh yeah, Ring of Honor, like, no. Never had the money, never could compete on a dollar per dollar basis like WWE could. And the fact you didn't have that competition really gave Vince a lot of power.
Definitely. I don't disagree with you, man. And it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it brings it to light again. You think about it, and it's just unfortunate,
Yeah, it is.
Like you, I've been having conversations with other wrestling fan friends and non-wrestling friends that are watching this documentary series and being like, whoa. And it's just like, you're looking at him with different set of eyes now, and it's just sad and unfortunate. And you just, hopefully down the road now people start, speaking up. And I think we're building up this next generation. I know you and I are both parents, and we're telling our children to speak up whenever they see something wrong or get out of that situation. And it just sucks that when you're locked in, like you just said, when you have to feel like there's no other option and you just go along with it. But it's just, people are getting violated. You know what I'm saying? Women, just the abuse that was just terrible. Like, you saw the first episode, Tony Atlas was like, man, I think in that episode, he was like, yeah, what we're doing with women. They're just like, man, it just sucked, dude. Like, there's just a lot of undertone with some of the just brief statements that just reeks of just how sad and terrible the industry is.
Yeah, one of the things I said to my friend when her and I were talking about it, I said the one thing about that documentary is when people, when certain people gain power, it really allows them to show what sort of person they are. And I think Vince McMahon's story is a perfect example of that. And what she was saying is like his wife stayed through all of it. That's what she was like so
Yeah.
taken aback. And I'm just saying birds of a feather flock together.
Mm-hmm.
Like she knew who she was, who he was, and honestly, I would not put again, just based on proximity in all these years, I would not put her personality too dissimilar from his.
Yeah.
She may not have done the things he did, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. I gotta watch more of it. And again, from what I heard too, it's not anything we didn't know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of even what I when I was being talked to about it, and they were what they were saying. It's like, yeah, I knew about that, and this is something I knew about, and blah 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 blah. So it's definitely interesting, and I don't know if it's as damning as they try to make it out to be.
It's
Considering a lot
only,
of this,
yeah, I think they could have gone harder, but they
yeah,
didn't. And they just, well, as you saw from the beginning, even at the opening credits, it tells you they're just kind of filming this and documenting, and then a lot of this other stuff came out, and they're like, oh, let's make a shift,
right,
and they couldn't help but it. And then I'm sure Vince slowly found himself out of it, and then you saw his comments. He
yeah,
did try to say some things to like block things in a way, but no, bro, you said it yourself. Your own voice is condemning
yeah,
and showing how negative you are, and
yeah,
it's sad and unfortunate. I look forward to like even more stuff. We is that's we like we shouldn't be for the gossip and stuff, but it's not really gossip. The more true stories, but it's just unfortunate all the way around.
the
I don't know.
behind the scenes stuff is
Yeah,
always interesting. You get the reality of it, and I
yeah,
think that's what I think for us, we talk about, you and I, we talk, it's like, it almost seems like we are more fans of wrestling now because we know how it works compared to being kids where we were about the characters and the fantasy of it.
yeah,
I think for us as adults, knowing the reality of it behind the scenes is important to us because we understand these are real people and there are real things going on. And not saying we know so much because of the drama, but in that case, it was like the wild wild west behind the scenes in many respects. And to see that was going on when we were, kids and young adults watching this product, it's almost mind-blowing that what we saw on television even happened considering all the chaos that was happening behind the scenes.
yeah. Ugh. Well, I want a full report what you feel once you see the whole series, man. I'm curious your thoughts. But yeah, yeah. Let us know in the comments, y'all, if you are checking it
Yeah.
out, and your opinions on Mr. McMahon and where we're heading to as wrestling fans. I think we're far better off. I think we can all agree. WWE
Yes.
has just gone light years of where we were like, are we even gonna watch WWE when we've been doing this KayFabeyBaby? You
Hmm.
know, there was episodes if we go back in our archive that we're like, man, I don't think I want to watch this anymore.
Exactly.
It was sad,
Exactly.
and
It
now
was the
they've
same
become
stuff.
the shit,
Yeah.
even more so than before. Like it's crazy.
Yep.
Anyway, I think you had another topic that we wanted to
Yeah.
go with
Well,
because we're doing
CW,
speed round today.
NXT debuted on CW. I think at its highest peak, it was just under 1 million people, which is like one of the best rated debuts on the CW ever. Um, so real quick, from what I remember, Trick won against Ethan Page, so he's a two-time NXT champion. Um, Roxanne defeated Julia because of interference because Corey Jade returned. So we may have Corey Jade and Roxanne versus Julia and Stephanie Valkyr coming down the line, which would be dope. But what my biggest takeaway, and again, going back to kind of AEW, and we went to the Dynamite this past summer. I saw pictures of a colleague, mutual of mine. Her and her son went not this week but last week to Dynamite, and seeing how empty the arena is. I saw NXT, and they were in an arena and it was packed. It was absolutely packed. And we're talking an arena that AEW has been in. I forget the All Saint Arena in Chicago. And the fact that it was packed to the gills, I was like, wow, NXT is officially its own brand, and I love it. And I think they're doing more touring. But I've heard some people, like some of the pundits and critics and whatnot, weren't too high on the show. I thought it was good. I am more excited for NXT when it comes to WWE than watching Raw and SmackDown.
Seriously though, I'm actually with you, dude. Ever since as people been watching this KayFabeyBaby episode, you were like the NXT guy of the three of us, and then I just started jumping in because of the women's wrestling, and then I'm like, wow, they're really killing it, man. So I'm actually sad that I missed this debut episode of the the relaunch and everything, but I'm excited to see it because I've been tracking on the dirt sheets, man, of just all what went down. We have new looking titles from what I understand that
Yeah.
Sean and Triple H debuted during the
new color
events.
scheme is black and silver for NXT now, so the titles reflect that. At least the men and women's championship titles.
Yeah. And then we had Kalani Jordan joining Bianca and Jade. So we already had the what do we call it? The top three. What do we call them with Naomi? The big three. We call them the big three on W with Naomi. But now here's young Kalani Jordan getting the blessed out. To me, like a great blessing from Jade and Bianca with that love. Cora Jade returning. Cora Jade still like a little bit before my time when I jumped on, but then she started to make a return and then she got injured.
She got injured again.
Do you think she's on that level? I guess is one of my questions that I had for you with this return with her.
I have never been that. I never disliked her, but I've never been a fan of her character.
Oh yeah.
And maybe because by the time I was really watching it, then she was injured again.
Yeah.
So to speak. Also, side note, speaking of fan favorites, Nikita Lyons returned to not TV, but one of their house shows this past weekend. I saw that, so I'm excited to see her and see what happens. I feel like they were trying to push her, but she got injured and she got injured again, and it's one of those things where just keep getting injured.
Yeah, dude, I want to say I thought I heard she got injured again from this past weekend's return.
Oh, I didn't hear that,
bruh. I'm like, girl,
oh God, no,
exactly like that. I don't know.
And in that case, I'm disappointed because I talked to you before, and like I saw her when she did WoW, and I was just like, yo, she got potential, like straight up. I don't know if WWE has honestly utilized her, or maybe they just haven't been able to really utilize her skill like that. Is because when I watched her in WoW, I'm like she is good. And mind you, she's good in WoW. I'm like, okay. Then she got signed. I'm like, oh, what is she going to do? And I'm like, I don't think I see the level of wrestling. Have seen the level of wrestling I would have thought compared to what I saw in WoW from her. Of course, maybe she just haven't had time to really show that because the injury stuff.
Yeah. So
I'm
very
say
excited.
This, We're talking about Nikita Lyons. I got to show you this picture I saw when somebody put this dude looking at Jada Parker, and it's like, dude, look like you're about to risk it all. And I said, I don't blame him. But
bruh,
NXT is caked
you
up.
follow Jada online, bro?
Yes.
She know what she doing.
Chocolate cake, vanilla cake, all types of cake.
Woo! Anyway, man, listen. She lucky we both married right now.
For real. But so yeah, but really well, really. Yeah. I think next week they're in St. Louis, so Randy Orton is showing up. They're doing good things. So I'm happy for that. I'm happy for wrestling in general. TNA is continuing to sell out shows and everything. We're talking last week. NWA reappeared on X, which I don't know how that's going to go for them as far as showcasing their TV product. That's a weird place to be.
Yeah,
I don't know why they don't just go back to YouTube, but they're still doing TV taping, so maybe they have another deal that's not X involved. So I don't know. I'm looking for. I want them to succeed because, like I told you, the live show was awesome. It was such a great experience. I don't know if that necessarily translates to TV too well, and especially when they put it on X like that was not like I'm not watching 76 on X. I mean, one, I was there, but I still don't want to rewatch it on X. Like, yeah, let's watch just like Speed. I didn't watch W Speed because I'm watching on my phone. I'm watching on my phone. I want on the TV. But anyway, I digress. So those are my points for this week. Wrestling's doing good. There's lots and lots of wrestling to watch and catch up on.
Dude, I agree. And actually, because we've been so busy, I was like, let me just do one final check of everything wrestling to make sure we've covered all the topics for this week. And I just realized and just noticed this weekend, dude, is Bad Blood.
Oh, snap.
Exactly. We're so freaking busy and we've been so caught up. So I think we got to throw some quick picks before we sign off.
All right. What is going on?
All right, we don't have to go into too much detail because we were trying to make
Roman Cody. Episode. I don't know what else is going on.
Bro, okay, so I got the matches. I pulled it up from Wiki. So as of today's recording, y'all, we're going to go off of what Wiki's telling us. We're going to give you our quick picks. All right, ready to run through it?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. We have CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in a Hell in a Cell match. Who do you got?
CM Punk.
I'm going to split the tie. I want to have Drew. Let's see. I think they're going to make this run a little bit. Run to Survivor Series. So I think I'm going to give it to Drew. He's going to do something shady.
Okay. All right.
That's what's going to happen. It ain't going to be clean. All right. Nia Jax, our current champion, versus Bayley for the WWE Women's Championship. Who you got?
Nia Jax with Tiffany Shenanigans.
Oh.
I don't think it's a cash in, but I think Tiffany's going to be involved.
I think so too. And the Naomi heel turn possibly, or maybe Naomi coming in and it's the start of something. I don't know. I think there's going to be shenanigans both ways, whether it's Tiffany Stratton or Naomi with this. And I'm still digging what they're doing. So I think they can again prolong this with Survivor Series. All right. So you got Nia. I'm gonna throw it to Bayley. So we're gonna split the difference. We're doing both of them so far. So people are gonna have to just tune in, see who gets the win on this one between you and I. All right, next one, singles match: Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. Who you got?
Damian.
Yeah, I wanted to go for Damian too. I'm gonna go for Damian. All right, we're not gonna split the difference on this one. I'm with the Archer of Infamy. All right, let's go. Liv Morgan, our current champion, with Dirty Dom versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship, with Dom being suspended above the ring in a shark cage. I'm ready for this one, but who do we have, man? Is Rhea getting it back?
I want Rhea, but there's no importance to Liv if she doesn't have the title.
You know,
in my opinion,
yeah,
I don't. Because if they put the title back on Rhea, they're not doing Rhea and Liv again, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's got to be over with this.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's over.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's over. So I see Liv winning. You know, Sean is going to be pissed. But I see
What's
Liv
up, Sean?
I see Dom getting out of the shark cage somehow. And interfering I see Liv winning. Again, it's not going to be clean, but I still see Liv winning.
All right. I'm with you, but just to make it entertaining, I'll split the difference again. So we're going to have this one. Well, let's see what happens with this one, but I'm with you on the storyline wise. All right, final match. We have Cody and Roman versus the Bloodline, Solo and Fatu in a tag team match, man. Who we got? It's going to be interesting on this one.
I'm going Roman and Cody. I feel like that they're not bringing Roman back for him to lose in his first match back since WrestleMania. That's not happening. But I do see them winning and then Roman laying Cody out.
To then be part of the Bloodline, but
no, just because he wants the title,
just because of just because yeah. Okay.
Unless they bring, Hikuleo's supposed to be going to NXT, so I don't think they're bringing him in. Again, unless there's some surprise or with Jimmy. Apparently he's been sick or something. But again, I don't know how much is the work and how much isn't. So the throw is off. I don't believe anything they put out on social media anymore.
Yeah, you can't, man. You can't.
So
I'm not going to split the difference on this one. I think definitely Cody and Roman are going to win for exactly what you said. Roman ain't coming back and losing in this first match. So I'm just curious where the storyline is going to build off of this, because this whole thing is far from over.
Yeah.
So, all right, y'all. Those are our picks, y'all. Boom. We put it in there. We almost didn't do it. But quick check. Bad Blood is going down this weekend in the ATL. I love Jade and Bianca hosting that. That's pretty cool. I'm curious if that's going to be a theme now with this whole new world with WWE.
That should be. I think it's a good way of keeping talent on television and not having them in the ring.
Exactly.
Especially for these minor pay-per-views.
Exactly. So there you go. Website, what you got going on? I know you've been putting in work. You got a lot of content. Man. That's why we were trying to make this a speed episode. But as you see, because there's so much going on, we still can't even do a quick episode because we got so much stuff going on in the world that we got to talk about.
Man, it's so much going on. Just in the past week, couple weeks, my review of Notorieta from the song to Darius, that's out. For those of y'all who have never ever had to go to a banquet with a couple course meal as an instructional video on what forks and stuff you're supposed to use, bruh. There were so many grown folks when I was out at my conference that I saw that did not know. I'm like, really? Word? I was a little embarrassed, but anyway. So I had to do a video on that. In addition, from the style and etiquette, you got all my Baltimore Comic-Con footage. So pretty much every single day, great short interview with great creators, as well as cosplay contests. And that's Baltimore. And then coming up, I also got an sit-down interview with Philip Denson and Augustin Raymond, talking with that new book, Future Tales, that'll be out soon, as well as my man Eddie Lima, who just a massive hip-hop head graffiti artist who is coming out with his new book, End of Z. All those videos are done, primed. So really over the next 2 weeks is boom, 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 boom. Every day, something new on Webster Style.
There you go. My man is doing a lot of work, man. Y'all better support my man Webster Style. Just putting it in, making me feel like I'm not doing enough. And I do a lot. So shout out to my man Webster Style. Much love to you, brother. Go show love, support, follow, subscribe, do all the things. And obviously you're here on the NRW. If you're not liking, sharing, subscribing on the NRW, please do that right now. Show us some love. We'd greatly appreciate it. And let's talk in the comments about what's going down, whether or not you agree with our Bad Blood picks. Let's talk about it. And then next week, we'll talk results of Bad Blood and everything else going on in the world of wrestling. My man Webster Style, my love to my man Sean, who's out there getting suplexed by Maki. We're done. Your boy Kuya P. Webster Style. We're out of here in a one, two, three. Peace,
you come in my face, I'm gonna fight you.
Well, you're not gonna bust a nut anytime we're in the ring.
I'm gonna get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
When I get my hands on you, I'm gonna eat your ass like a pot of collard greens, baby.
I'm gonna stretch his ass like it's never been stretched before.
You can hide behind that commissioner stuff just so long until I jerk a knot in your ass.
And if you don't think I'm big enough, and you grab a hold of me, and you'll know that I'm growing, my man. Within your hands, I will get as big as I need to be to do the job on you.
All right, just jerk Helmsley off.
There's one part of our bodies that's soft, and it ain't soft all the time, if you catch my meaning.
I'm gonna come on you like nobody's ever come on you before. Just you and I getting it on like two men should do.
Oh! No, that's it, right?
Boy, I'm coming hard.